my screen back up here again. All right. Next up, we've got David Risner from Bluebolt. Actually, he's the founder and leaders of two different companies, Bluebolt Solutions and PackFlash. Bluebolt being an integrator, partner of DNN, and building websites for people, building on top of DNN platform and PackFlash, some very cool modules. One of the things that we saw, or I saw, but only very briefly, was a new product called Bravo Squared, and was very interested in knowing more, and I think our community wants to hear more about it. So Dave, take it away. Let me switch, let's see, let me switch my presenter credentials over here to you so that you have it, and then you could tell us all about the latest work that you guys are doing. That should have done it. There you go.
Okay.
Got it.
Is everybody there?
I am hearing you.
Okay, because I didn't hear anything back then. Thanks a lot, John. So here, I'm going to show my screen, and then I'm going to show you, I have two browsers, so I'm going to bounce around just a little bit, everybody. So hopefully we can do that. Can you tell me, can you see the screen that I've got, the DNN and Chicago Style DNN, and me actually cursoring here?
Yes, I'm seeing it. Everyone else, if there's anyone who's missing it, go ahead and toss it in on the chat window.
And can you also see this then on the textbook here?
Yes, see the textbook as well.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. All right. Well, good. Yeah. So first of all, thanks a lot for asking me here, and I'm really glad to see everybody there, especially Clint. You know, we didn't get a chance to show off some of the things that we did we actually had at DNN Con, but I did want to echo what you were saying, Don. We had a great time there. For all the people that are just joining on the video side, we had a lot of laughs and we learned a lot. DNN is also always so great to just present themselves, and Sean was fantastic as always. But the biggest thing that we get to do when we go is not only to introduce ourselves to the community, but also show off our products. And one of the things I wanted to make sure here today is to not make this a commercial. We actually want to talk a little bit about Bravo Squared, make sure to introduce myself just a little bit more, but also I want to show off an actual client. And that's where I think that any product really shows the best, is when it's actually being used appropriately with a client. And so we've got some good examples. You might want to unmute Scott also. Scott Wilkinson, you know, he joins us on the Bluebolt side. He's a contractor for us, and he might be able to help me with one of the products that we also do want to show off. So if you can unmute him, that would be great.
Yep, there he is.
All right.
Okay, so I'll pipe in, and Scott can jump in wherever he wants. But I just want to go through some quick introduction for myself. I am one of the partners of Bluebolt. You know, we are a DNN Gold partner. We do custom website development. We own PackFlash, which is what we consider a premium set of DNN content delivery modules. So those are out on the DNN store, and you can buy them as they are. And we give a lot of support for them. Hopefully everybody recognizes that they need support with the kind of modules that we put out. But we also realize that there is a place, that there are some products or solutions, I guess you should say, that DNN does not actually provide for. And those are some of the enterprise level products that I want to talk about today. So I'm going to go just real quick to the Bravo site here. This isn't the DNN site, but we're actively putting up a DNN site because we put this up for the DNN Con. And you can see that basically we consider this enterprise grade level for site search and also for content staging for DNN. This is specifically for DNN, and we think that we're putting out some pretty decent products to be able to do so. So you can see that we do describe it somewhat. We put out some of the features. We talk about the scalability for the search products and some of the display components as needed. But I'm not going to go through all the details because I don't think anybody needs, like I said, a commercial. The staging solution as well, we have some details about this. And then obviously where we are and whatnot just for the Bravo website. But we don't want to make it sound like we're trying to, especially with the enterprise search product that I'm actually going to show off today for one of our clients. I don't want to assume that we're in any way usurping what DNN is doing for either their evoke platform or their new evoke content platforms. I think that what we're trying to show is that there is a place to go to potentially if a client needs it for what we consider on the enterprise level. So let's go ahead and introduce our client here. This is can everybody still hear me though?
Yep.
Okay, great.
Figure out what's different between Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Is somebody asking a question, Don?
I think that was just somebody in the background. I had quickly clicked the unmute all. There's a number of people that have muted their own connection on their side, and somebody was left open. So I think we're good.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
No. Okay, gotcha. So this is the American Society for Surgeons of the Hand. They came to us a while back. We got a lot of their requirements. This is what we do as, just as you do, Don, for your clients. We're integrators, we're implementers of custom solutions, and DNN was a good fit for them. But what they needed very heavily was a search product. And I'm going to show that off to you. And I think that this is really the reason why we wanted to be able to show this off at DNNCon, and then obviously to be able to have this introduction here today. So let's show you the existing search that they have. And I got to be honest with you guys, there are some pictures, some of these places that you're not going to like because these are hand surgeons and they, some of this stuff. But this is their existing search that they've got, and they're not happy with it one little bit. They're showing off. You can see that some of them are some documents. You can see that they're that they've got some web links and whatnot that they paginate, and so it is what it is. You can even get some advanced features here if you want to. So this is the out-of-the-box SharePoint search, and it's not really all that bad in some ways, but the problem is it does not give them some of the features that they know that they need. So they came to us, and we did a couple things. One of the things, first of all, is that we developed a ebook for them, and this is the example that I'm about to show you. This is their hard copy book, if you can believe it. They sell it for about $500, and it's a hardback copy, if you can believe it. And then they turn around and put this ebook out, and this is where we're going to this textbook. The problem is I'm going to another browser to show you the textbook. This is logged in, and you can see the textbook that we've got. A lot of chapters. I mean, this is no small book. You know what I mean? This is heavy duty. But what I want to now show off to you is the actual search that we can show you on our textbook. Then I can show you the actual site that we're building too. That's still in development. So we're going to do the same search, and this is for wrist. And it looks like we got to log in. Right, just a little bit too long. Sorry about that, guys. We have our own login here. Okay. And that's not working for some reason. Scott,
Let me try it on my side.
what's that? 2 seconds. Okay, one more time. Okay, well, that's not going to help. Do you know what's up with that, Scott? Maybe I'll go back on.
I was able to get in.
Okay. In that case, then we'll check.
You want to switch over to me or try it again?
Can you switch over to Scott? He's very familiar with the site, and he can show off the features of the search that we've got if you can push it over to him.
Sure. Okay. Switching right now.
Multi-dimensional here. This.
All right. Can everybody see it?
Yes.
Yep, I can.
Okay. And you were typing in wrist?
Yep. Must not be woken up here, huh? So
Yeah, I guess so.
the purpose of this, purpose of the search, and I think there is actually something going on with this actually, because the login and whatnot. But the purpose of the search really is to be able to show any number of different content types and be able to sort them and then be able to facet them. So I'm a little frustrated that this isn't working, just because of the fact that that obviously we want to show how these things get filtered. You can see that on the left side now. Well, do you need to expand it? Maybe it's because this is actually a responsive skin as well. We should be able to show that off here too. But you can see that if you filter by authors, you can filter by purpose, you can filter by the pub year, and this all obviously has to be defined by the end client. But the purpose of this kind of a search is to be able to separate by the content types that you might want to be interested anyways. Now, this is a first approach toward this. Now, we will probably go toward more of a Google look, where at the top you'll see, okay, now we want to put the images, now we want to have the videos as needed and whatnot. But this actually is a good example of what we know that is being done in academia right now. So higher learning, imagine Harvard Business Review, I think, that has a very similar approach, and a number of different website solutions that provide for a lot of content and a lot of kinds of content, a lot of documents, a lot of videos, a lot of images, and a lot of different kinds of attributes that might be necessary for them. So Scott just showed this. Quite frankly, it's almost always works extremely fast. And this is one of the reasons why we believe that at the enterprise level, people do actually need a search level product, a search product that gets to this level. It has an outboard search engine and provides for this kind of functionality. So does anybody have any questions about that? I do have one other thing to talk about here on it. But I'd have to, maybe we need to go to the staging site for the handy, Scott, to be able to show it.
Okay, I'll switch back, or we could switch back to you if you want.
If I could,
Yeah.
I'd be happy to switch back. I do have one quick question first, and that is, what is the effort of configuring? It seems like an extremely rich search tool. So what is it for the website owner or the book author? What mechanisms does that he or she have to go through to enable the search of certain materials that they have? Is it pretty just naturally happens, or is there some configuration?
Okay, so one of the things to point out here is that this is not, whereas a lot of what you're going to find out there in the DNN world are DNN modules, where you download them, you go through configurations, and you actually can use the modules in the administrative settings to do this kind of setup. This is very difficult to get to that point. I can tell you that we are in the process of creating some admin components for what we already have as DNN modules for this. It would get a little bit technical to talk about the DNN, the redeveloped search input module. We have a search results module that we've developed, and then we also, Don, have a aggregator. And that aggregator I'm just about to talk about, that brings all these components together, pushes them through an actual search server, and then allows it to, separate into what the results actually look like. But to get back to your question, it takes an immense amount of work to get to this point. As far as from the client perspective,
yeah,
we had to go through an immense amount of consulting to help them to understand how they're going to have to put their content together, and this is serious consulting work to get to this point. But there is no other way, and quite frankly, it changes the way they look at delivering content as a whole. So, these are serious content creation theories, and different ways of looking at how they're going to be going forward with their content creation as well.
So as an author, instead of thinking of just starting to type in Word, you have to start thinking in terms of what types of content you have and how people might want to relate to it, and then you put it into your system that way.
That is exactly right. And we're going to, as time goes, we're going to make it easier and easier to control these things. But without a doubt, there is a consulting engagement required for this kind of solution. And it would be the same with the Bravo content staging solution as well. This is, again, I mean, like I said, it's very powerful stuff. It's hard to deal with in some ways. In other ways, you know, what we were trying to play with Bravo, the Bravo products, the enterprise level search and the enterprise level staging product, is to try to get to an 80-20 rule where when somebody actually does need that functionality, then we were going to deliver 80%. The other 20% will get you there, and with the consulting exercises that need to be done. So there's a huge amount of software being developed and quite a bit of consulting that needs to do to top it off and make sure that it's usable for the client.
Oh, fantastic. Now, you want me to switch presenters so that you have the screen so you can continue?
Yes, I would. Yes, just so I can show you, because there is another example. And so here we go.
Yeah,
back to the screen that is not there. But this client, ASH, the American Society for Surgery of the Hand, these guys have, if you can believe this, they're going to have at least, sorry about the picture, I'm really sorry about this picture, that's not pretty, I know. But this is their clinical, this is the first portal that we're building out that is not the textbook. So these are surgeons that use this, and they're going to have to log in, so this is why these kind of pictures don't bother. Anyways, notice up here. So this is our, can everybody see this now, Don?
Yes.
Okay. So listen, what's going on here is that they're going to have, and we're going to improve the way this looks because this is still in progress. Notice this is stage. This is the first portal of maybe 8 portals. So the search isn't just going to go on the textbook and deal with the content from the textbook and have that search. From all the other portals, it's going to have the ability to go out and look and aggregate all the content into one spot. And that's what we're doing here. So if we have it like this, and you see, so what we're going to do now is, for whatever reason, that won't come in. So let's do the risk.
You have to uncheck all to get the other to.
Get the.
Uncheck all if you want to do the specific ones.
Okay, gotcha. Well, Scott's been actually doing the work, so he actually knows how to do this. Okay, guys. So let's do the search here for risk again. And what we're doing is we're going out to the textbook, which is not this portal, obviously, and we're going to deliver it here. This is on my staging solution, so it is just a little bit slower anyways, but it is trying to deliver the content that we just saw. And notice that it's, again, by authors. We've got the images here. We've got the videos, and they're working on the skinning for this. Notice that they have a couple of rollovers that they can do. We could show more, and it's quite fast if you notice how if we do it by the authors and whatnot. This is all done on a separate server. And notice that there's that point that where this one here is saying that that it's also by pub year and by source. So this is grayed out now because there's only one source that it's coming from. But that's the purpose, is that we are going to basically be able to say there's 7 portals. We did a search for them. Now we're going to be able to do all, and we can actually click off the ones if you don't want the content from the textbook. So this is really what we're coming to. This is going to change over time, and we wanted to make sure that you could see that this is what we're doing for this one client. We're in the middle of the process right now, and this is going to turn into something that we think that a lot of DNN developers and end clients are going to say, you know what, I need a search product that can actually do something like this, and I'm willing to put the time and effort into getting my client to understand what kind of work is required to get to this consulting level and be able to push out this kind of results. So I know I've gone through a bunch of things here with this. There are a lot of features that we can go right back to onto the Bravo site if you want to talk about what those features are. The biggest advantage I think that we're going to show off to you, that we would be able to show off to you, advantage over the regular DNN search, is the scalability. And the last thing I wanted to do was to show off just a little bit to show this is a presentation we did at the DNN Con. We do believe it's the most powerful search solution for DNN. We do want to show off. I could show you if you here. Let me go ahead and go back to what it is. This is all responsive. Oops. So it is. So you can see that it is responsive, and we can basically bring up the filters and whatnot. I think that they're probably working on it still. The textbook is complete, but this is planned to be all responsive as well. But the big thing is that those kind of things are being thought of in the development as we're going. This is the way that it works. We do have this presentation online, and I try to just speed through a little bit so we can at least share with you that we do have some scalability baked into the product. You can see that all the components go back to a search server, and that's where we get the scalability that we need. We can actually have one single server and then have the search server built into it. We could also have a Windows server and then a search server that would go outboard of it, bringing a great, significantly more speed. And then we can have multiple search servers, going back to one search server, and then obviously, so far, a DNN farm plus a search cluster, if it really got to be the requirements of any given client to be that deep. So that's really all that I had today. I hope that being able to see what we are doing with the client helps to just understand, what these products are, and that's really what the goal of this was, to try to get you to that point so that you can see where the value really lies.
Yeah, I think that's fascinating. Just being able to understand how content is going to be viewed, especially technical content, and not technical like computer stuff, but technical like clinical, medical, many other companies or other industries that have their knowledge bases that need to be accessed. And of course, like you said about responsive, more and more of these guys are running around with like a mini iPad in their pocket, popping it out to get the information that they need on the fly. So making sure that it's fitting their needs as well makes perfect sense. Fascinating stuff. Thank you very much. Is there any other questions of David Bluebolt and Scott of this particular item right now? If you could, you said that those slides were online, so if somebody would shoot me the URL to get to the slides, I'll be happy to add the URL in with the text of the, that's accompanying the video clip that we're doing here for this. That would be great.
Right. Well, you know what I'll do is I'll make sure that we put them up onto the Bravo site, and then we'll put you to the right pages so that you can just grab onto it.
Oh, ideal. Yeah.
I think Phil had a question about the search results honoring permissions.
Yep.
And on this particular, Phil, on this particular implementation, all the content that's being aggregated is being custom aggregated from the PackFlash content. And so in the case of textbook, it was actually the requirement was that people needed to log in because they got a subscription to that. They bought a subscription, so they needed to be authenticated to view the content. So there wasn't a deep level of permissioning on the textbook. It will honor permissions in as far as if you click on the content item and it's a PackFlash item, if you try to go to the details of it, there is permission checking there. But we are planning on doing something similar like with other DNN content, you know, any like content item type content or like text HTML or other module content, we are planning on, you know, adding or not permissions, but settings that can say, you know, either don't show it based on permissions, like the view permissions, or show just the snippet, you know, but when you click on the actual link to go to the page, you know, obviously the DNN permissions will kick in.
Yeah, because that's obviously very, very hard to do. And because we've been struggling with that too from an intranet perspective, that's kind of, you know, that's kind of something a lot of people want, but most people don't realize how incredibly complex that can get when you get into lots of permutations of roles and content.
Yeah, and what's really different about this search is that we can customize the actual index schema, which you can't really do with any other product right now. I mean, as good as the DNN, the new Lucene search is on DNN, it is very nice, but you still to actually change the index schema. I actually had a talk with Ash, and he said it is possible in the DNN search, but a lot of coding and really difficult. We're going to make ours to where the schema is something that people can alter and change, and the schema is what drives, you know, the type of things that you can do, like the faceting, or the custom templated result returns. You know what I mean? But we're also planning on adding permissions to the schema so that the permissions can be returned to the front end, and the front end can do something with them.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and by the way, this is a membership association. We've kind of got a little bit of a play into membership associations anymore. But the thing is that this is totally tied to their kind of what they call an AMS. It's ProTech. I don't know if you guys know of ProTech. They're actually a DNN silver partner. But ProTech is the AMS, and their AMS is built on Microsoft Dynamics CRM, and so everything really flows back to them for membership roles. And so that's really, I mean, this thing is pretty deep and tied into each other, just like what Scott was saying as far as how the members and their logins are going to work. It's an interesting project if anybody wants to get deep into it and wants to give us a call and chat about how it's working out.
Hey, thank you very much, David, and Scott as well, for going over both of you going over this, the Bravo Squared. Congratulations on getting this guy built. Very, very cool piece of software.